Okay, good morning. Okay, so we're going to read Act 2, Scene 2. So this actually takes place at Caesar's house, and Caesar is evidently in his nightgown, and there's a lot of thunder and lightning. Remember, this was a very stormy night. Okay, I'm going to start. This is on page 851 for Act 2, Scene 2.
Heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help, ho, they murder Caesar." Who's within?
My lord.
Go bid the priests do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions of success.
I will, my lord.
Okay, let's pause. Calpurnia is Caesar's wife. Calpurnia has woken up multiple times throughout the night, and every time she wakes up, she's screaming about people murdering Caesar. Let's pause for a moment. If your spouse is waking up several times and telling you that he or she is dreaming about people killing you, would you be like, that seems, not great? I think I would pause and think about that. Caesar probably isn't really that concerned. He's just thinking, oh, she's just having dreams, people. It's weird.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threatened me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies. Yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth. For these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
Okay. So again, Shakespeare shows women in this scene. Okay, well, in this scene, like the last scene, he shows women. Again, this is a play that is in a male environment for the most part. We cannot fault Shakespeare for not having a lot of women in this play. That would be crazy if he had a lot of women in this play. The women that he has in this play are very strong, though. Okay, Calpurnia is Caesar's wife, and she's a very strong woman. She's been dreaming all through the night. And she talks to Caesar about, first of all, we've heard about some stuff going on in the streets. Remember, this has been a night where there's been a lot of thunder and lightning. People were talking about like lions walking around the streets. That sounds crazy. She says, a lioness hath whelped in the streets. A lioness had her babies in the street. That's crazy. Then she says, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Do I hear zombies? Zombies are walking around? Like that's what I think she's saying. Whether she's saying that this is kind of, if she's merging some of the, remember that on this night, the thunder and lightning, people have been saying, oh, I saw this and I saw that. So there's a lot going on. A lot of people are talking about things. So she may be blending some of what people have said with some of what she's dreamt as well. And think how crazy your dreams are sometimes. Like dreams are crazy. She says there was an army fighting in the clouds and there was like blood drizzling down on the capital of Rome. That is not good. that seems bad. You know, if you have a dream where blood is like falling down from the sky on your city, that would seem like a concern, I think. Maybe concerning. And so she's like, you shouldn't go anywhere today, Caesar. All of this, you know, it's been a bad night. There's some weird stuff going on. I've been having terrible dreams. You die in all of them. Like, this is all terrible. You should stay home today. Honey, I insist you stay home. And Caesar says, what? I can't stay home. That's crazy talk. Of course I'm going into work. He says, you know, these predictions are nothing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to go into work. I'm not superstitious. Actually, he's been kind of superstitious, but he's denying it right here. And she says, listen, when beggars die, there are no comets in the sky. Comets fly through the sky when princes die, when kings die. Caesar, there has been a comet recently. It's doom and gloom, and it's about a king dying. That would be you, honey. You need to stay home. Caesar says, and I love this line, this is one of my favorite lines in this entire play. He says, cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Woo, that's good stuff. Yeah, Shakespeare. Woo, winning. So people who are afraid of things, they die many times because they're envisioning their death constantly. They're always afraid. So throughout their life, they've died multiple times. That sounds terrible. Where the valiant, the brave people, those people only die one time because they're not afraid. They face life without fear. They're fearless in some way. So they only die once. I do feel like, you know, dying once is to be desired rather than multiple times. That does sound good. I like that logic. So he says, of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. You know, we've talked about this in class before. The one thing we are all guaranteed from the moment we are born, the only thing all human beings share, and all creatures share, from the moment that they are birthed, is that death will come one day. Now, you may live in very modest circumstances. You may live in very audacious circumstances. You may have, you know, a lot of money. You may have very little money. You may have a life that's well known. Everybody knows your name. You may not be well known. But the one thing we're all guaranteed is that we're going to die. Caesar says, why should I be afraid of death? It's the one thing we're guaranteed from the second that we take our first breath. We will die. It's just a matter of how and when. I'm not going to stay home and be scared of death. That's something I've known about for my entire life, honey. Thank you. Thank you for the warnings. But no, I'm not going to stay home. That is silly talk.
What say the augurers?
They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible. And Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well. And for thy humor I will stay at home.
Okay, let's pause. Okay, so Caesar he wants to know what the augurers have said. The augurers are like the fortune tellers of their time. They're like the prophets of their time. So they believed in a lot of superstition back, you know, think of like the ancient Greeks and like the oracle at Delphi and things like that. So the Romans are very much that way. So they have augurers. They have these people who are, you know, prophets in the temples of the gods and goddesses. And they basically will sacrifice an animal. They will look at the entrails, that's the insides of the animal, like their organs and stuff. And they will determine from their organs, like how they're displayed, they'll determine whether you should do or not do things. Of course, fortune telling, that's weird. And that's probably not something that we ever do nowadays. At least, hopefully not. You may look at your fortune, you may be like, oh, I'm a Gemini, and I wonder what the newspaper says for Geminis today. But a lot of times, really, that's like just, something people do for fun. It's not something that people believe in. Back in this era, when the augurers say things, a lot of times people believe the things. So he's asked what the augurers found with their sacrifice, looking at the entrails of animals. Gross. What did they see? Well, they come back and tell him that the animal that was sacrificed, it didn't have a heart. Oh no, that seems weird. And Caesar's like, oh no, I've got that. So he's now a prophet. He can interpret what the sacrifices mean. Caesar's like, I need to go in today to work without a heart. I can't stay home in fear. I can't let my fear persuade me to be weak and stay back. I've got to go forward without a heart. I guess that's one way to look at it, maybe. Calpurnia says, no, Caesar, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Have you ever met somebody who is far too confident? They don't seem to take matters logically in their minds. They're not thinking over things. They're overly confident. They're too confident. They're like, I don't need to study for that big test. I know everything about, insert topic here. I don't know, chemistry or, physics or something. I mean, do you? Because I feel like studying is really smart. But no, they're overconfident. No problem. Study, no worries. Not going to do it. And then whenever they get back like their test and it's a C, they're like, what happened? Well, you were overconfident. That's kind of where Caesar's at right now. So Calpurnia is saying, you have to stay home today. Everything is showing it. I've been having these dreams. It was a weird night. The augurers are saying weird things are happening. You have to stay home. Have Mark Antony tell the senators that you're not well today. And then she says, listen, Calpurnia gets down on her knees. Again, this is a proud Roman, nobly born woman. She doesn't get down on her knees, okay? Whenever you bow to somebody, you're kind of saying, you're superior, I'm inferior. That's not something that a nobly born woman is going to do, okay? So she's like beseeching him. She's begging him, please, Caesar, stay home for your own good. If you love me, stay home. Again, this is a woman who is imploring her husband to listen to her and not do what he wants to do, not do what other people are compelling him to do, but to listen to her in this moment, to take her advice. He says, you know what, Calpurnia, I will stay home today. Even if it's just to make you happy, you know what, I care about you. I love you. I'm going to stay home because it's what you really want me to do, and I'm going to do that. Hello, Mr. Olson. Okay, let's continue. Now, Decius gets here, and if you remember, Decius is the one that says, I'll talk Caesar into coming. I can flatter him into showing up. No worries. Flattery will work. Let's see if it does.
Here's Decius Brutus. He shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not, falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afeard to tell greybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which like a fountain with an 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
Okay, so Decius gets there, and Caesar's like, oh, you've come at a great time. Go tell the senators I'm not coming today. I'm not going into work today. I've decided to stay home. And Calpurnia's like, tell them that he's sick. And Caesar's like, we don't have to lie. We can be honest. Tell them I will not come. And then Decius is like, remember, he wants Caesar to come to the Senate today. So he says, could you just like let me know the reason? Because I don't want to be laughed at. Like that would be awkward. And so Caesar's like, the cause is my will. I will not come today. But then he says, but for you privately, I'll let you in on what's going on. Calpurnia here, she's had some dreams. Like she's been dreaming some stuff. Specifically, she had this dream that there was a statue of me, and it was like a fountain filled with 100 spouts that did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in this fountain. And she feels like that does not speak well for me going to the Senate today. She feels like that's bad. And she has begged me to stay home. Okay, let's think about that image for a second. So Caesar, it's a statue of Caesar and it's filled with a lot of holes. Man, what could those be caused by? Oh my gosh, guys, how did Caesar die again? Oh, right. He was stabbed multiple times. That would put a lot of holes in your body. And then blood poured out of the statue. Think of like those statues that you see in parks where there's like water spewing out. And like, you know, if you wanted to, I guess you could put your hands up there and you could wash maybe. That's what, in that dream, Roman citizens were happy and they were smiling and they were bathing their hands in his blood. In the blood from Caesar's statue. It was blood, it was red. Now, if there's a fountain that is spewing blood, the first thing I'm doing is not putting my hands in it and washing my hands in the blood. That is scary and creepy, okay? So that's a pretty disturbing dream. And if Calpurnia has dreamt that, maybe it's a good idea that Caesar does what she wants. Hello, twin. And that Caesar doesn't go to the Senate today. Let's see what Decius says. Because remember, Decius desperately wants Caesar to go to the Senate today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have.
Okay, so Decius interprets the dream. Decius is like, oh my gosh, no, listen, your wife has it so wrong. So that dream where like your fountain was filled with a lot of holes and blood was spewing out and people were washing their hands and smiling, that dream, it's a good dream. It means great things, Caesar. It means that your reviving blood, this blood that's going to renew Rome, is pouring forth out of you. And the people who are happy and they're coming up to that fountain, they're receiving, revitalizing something from you. And that they're becoming new. They're being refreshed by this blood from your fountain. It's helping them. Your thoughts, your ideas pouring forth out of that fountain onto the Roman citizens. You're renewing Rome, Caesar, just by being present. By being you, buddy, you are renewing us all. Well, that is quite a bit of flattery. Interesting. Let's see what Caesar says. First of all, he said, oh, well, that's a completely different interpretation. Let's see what else Decius says.
When you have heard what I can say, and know it now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go.
Okay, so Decius, again, he already flattered Caesar with, oh, we're receiving wisdom and good things and revitalization from the blood pouring out of your fountain in the dream. And then he goes on to say, and today, Caesar, they were going to make you a king in the Senate. Now, if you don't show up today, I mean, maybe they're going to be like, huh, that's weird. Maybe we shouldn't make him a king. Or maybe we should not have a Senate meeting until Caesar's wife has better dreams. Because now Caesar is, who's wearing the pants in his family, huh? It must be his wife, because she had a bad dream and Caesar stayed home. He says, oh, we don't want them to think Caesar's afraid to come to the Senate. Seriously, Caesar, you're not going to stay home because of that, are you? And then Caesar's like, ugh, you're right. This is stupid. Sorry, Calpurnia, your dream. I mean, that's ridiculous. Of course I'm not staying home over that. That is, I don't even know what I was thinking. Thank God Decius got here and talked me out of that. I would have looked like an idiot if I had stayed home. Whew. And now everybody else piles in. Brutus, Ligarius, Metellus, Cimber, Casca, Trebonius, Cinna, and Publius, all to help escort him to the Senate. The conspirators.
And look where Publius has come to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca. Caius Ligarius, Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same ague which hath made you lean. What is the clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy.
Antony comes
See,
in.
Antony that revels long o' nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So too, most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now, Cinna, now, Metellus, what, Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus earns to think upon.
Okay, so all the different conspirators come in. Antony also comes in. And Caesar's kind of like, yay, guys, yeah, we're all together. Awesome, we're going to go to the Senate together. He's having them, like, drink some wine with him before they go. It is, 8 a.m., throwing it out there. Romans, what do you do? Trebonius, whenever he says, Trebonius, I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you. So Trebonius has a special request for him, and Caesar's like, hey, remind me of that whenever we get in there. Trebonius says, oh, Caesar, I will. And then it says aside. Anytime it says aside in Shakespearean, in a Shakespeare play, what that means is the character is saying something under his or her breath. They're saying something that the audience knows, but the other people on the stage do not hear. Trebonius says to Caesar, oh, Caesar, I will. And then he looks over at the audience and he says, and so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further. So Trebonius may actually have a little bit of a position of starting this situation. He has his dagger. He is ready. He's going to be so close to Caesar that Caesar's best friends will wish that he had not been. He just said that. Caesar's right there. Caesar didn't hear it. Caesar's like, come have a drink with me at 8 a.m. Yeah, perfect. And he's not paying attention to what Trebonius is saying under his breath. Whew. So they're about to exit to go to the Senate. Okay, so that is the end of Act 2, Scene 2.